And then you've got king of the socialists, son of Cenk Uyghur.
Yes, the king of the socialists. Like, we didn't even do the pledge. This seems pretty fucked up. You know, we started the stream. We're talking about Hasan, obviously, but we didn't do the pledge. Come on, chat. You all know what to do. All at once, right? Oh, great King, protect us from on high. Hasan, son of Jake, the one true King. So, I'm sure you've heard about these cads, all right? The champagne socialists, you know, the super rich ones. All the monies, none of the praxis. You know, this is important that I type this all out so I understand what's happening. There you go. Now it's like this looks like a meme that was made by an ANCAP. I made an ANCAP meme, everybody. Here you go. It's an ANCAP meme. It's just so easy. It's just so easy. Hey, wait, Chico, what are you doing? You're blocking the comedy. There you go. Yeah, we got ourselves an ANCAP meme, everybody. That's all there is to it. But anyways, this has been brought up a number of times. I said about a year ago, someone communicated with me that they had done a bit of the math and they'd figured out that someone like ContraPoints or Abigail or H Bomber Guy or Chapo Trap House was making at the bare minimum X amount of dollars. So in the case of ContraPoints, I believe they had worked out that the minimum amount you could donate to become part of the Patreon was like a $2 tier. However, if you bought at the $5 tier, like the majority of people did, all these people who had suspiciously turned off the amount of money they were getting from their Patreon subscribers because either they were embarrassed by it or scared because the amounts are so high, are most likely making anywhere from 20 to 30, sometimes $40,000 a month. They are making an incredibly high amount of money. Now, here's my thoughts on the whole thing, especially if you want to look at this from a material analysis, especially a Marxian analysis, because I have shown you before that Caleb Maupin has also talked about this very topic, right? You'll notice that he's got 3 videos that have a very similar theme. Abolish billionaires is anti-Marxist. Communism means vast abundance, expanding wealth. Billionaire communist? No contradiction. Socialist billionaires? Yes, let me explain. And they're of the same vein.
Hey folks, so I'm here in Red Square, and I wanted to just make this video because there seems to be a lot of confusion about what it actually means to be a socialist or a communist. You know, the communist candidate in this latest election, Pavel Grudinin, he himself is a billionaire, and I've heard many people say, oh, you can't be a socialist or a communist if you're a billionaire, that doesn't make any sense. Well, let's get facts straight here. Socialism and communism is not about poverty. It's not about wanting people to be poor so it's more fair or something.
It's true.
Socialism and communism are about organizing the economy so that it works for the benefit of the people. Right now we have an economy in the Western countries that is completely controlled by profits and markets. It's all about making money, and in the process, people get left behind. Our streets are falling apart. Our bridges are not secure. Water isn't being purified. And at the same time, technology is advancing, and it's
Wait, in opposition to, are you about to say Russia, like modern day Russia or China? Is that where we're going with this?
instead of making a more prosperous life, it's eliminating jobs and it's making people poorer. As society and technology advances, people are getting poorer. That's the problem with capitalism and socialism and communism. The idea behind it is that we should control the economy, that the banks, factories, and industries, and major means of production should operate for the purpose of making society better. We should have a control.
Wrong. So right there's the part where he kind of gets into this, I'd say, loving arrangement with state capitalism. Because what he is describing, of course, is state capitalism, and that is exactly what the USSR participated in. And it's what China participates in now, okay? Now, that's not necessarily the same thing as saying that there has to be a new relationship between the worker and the means of production so that their labor itself is not exploited. Now, there was a variety of models in the USSR. Differences like, say, once they... the USSR has this myth of being for the abolishment of property. It was not. It's actually one of the largest examples of property ever being given on a mass scale, I'd say in human history. So farmers who may have been agrarian at the time, or peasants who worked on the fields, a lot of them were given land for the very first time. Under Lenin, there was not the mass collectivization movement for all these agrarian farmers. Under Stalin, there was, in which all of them were suddenly controlled and collectivized under his rule. This isn't the exact same thing as someone changing the distinction between employer-employee, right? That's at the crux of all of this. It's basically whether or not you are exploiting someone's labor in order to produce surplus value, and the relationship therein, and how we juggle that. So in the case of what Caleb's saying right now, that there's a candidate running, and that candidate happens to be a billionaire, the question he should also ask himself is, how did that person become a billionaire?
Controlled economy so that we can secure people's livelihoods. And in the process, people might become very wealthy. There's no contradiction between people being wealthy and socialism and communism. The idea is that there's nothing wrong with people being wealthy, just so long as they're making their wealth through making society better.
That is true. So, we all know where we're going with this, right? As of recently, yet another example of what everyone is calling the hypocritical leftist, the champagne socialist, is because Hasan Piker, it was revealed, has a $2.7 or $2.8 million home in LA. Now, I've seen all the things and all the stuff that came out about this, where it's like, do you understand where he's living? That's not actually that like a ridiculous a house. Is this the first time you found out that he's rich? Because he doesn't hide his sub count. He puts his sub count in the top right corner. It's always there. And yeah, if you want to do some math, once it started hitting the 30,000-40,000 subs, that's a lot of the monies. So if this is the first time you're finding out that he's rich, droll. He's been rich for a very long time. A very long time. But if that's news to you, fine. Didn't his parents also move in? Like, wasn't he buying this, like, quote-unquote monstrous mansion for his family as well? So they're living there too. To me, the idea that leftists have to live, like in a burlap sack with an electrical cord tied around them, because that is befitting of the stature. I don't know how many times I've said this on the show. That's not what we're advocating for is about. I'm not looking for every one of you to live in abject poverty to get your bona fides. I haven't lived in abject poverty, so I'm sorry. I'm not a true leftist yet. I'm working my way up to that cord, though. Hoping to buy that cord one day, good old electrical cord, and I can wrap it around myself, and I'll be just like AOC. Oh, AOC, who may have owned a bar. I forgot about that. She may have owned a bar. That's a no. You cannot be a co-owner in a business in which you're working in. That would be just unusual, strange. Teslas, I know, stuff like that. I told you about how this has been presented for years. It's kind of a reoccurring theme. When I was told and messaged and DM'd about ContraPoints, Abigail, look how much money they're making, my response every time was like, okay. And that was it. It would just be like, all right. and then they were like, should we not talk about this? Should we make a video about this? They're siphoning money away from like possible revolutions, possible walkout lines, possible picket lines. They're blah, blah, blah. And okay, can we put everything into perspective? When it comes down to it, those who control the levers of power, some of the most powerful individuals, those are upholding things like white supremacy. Those are upholding things like the patriarchy. Those are upholding things, let's say the energy sector, or the banking sector, or the military-industrial complex. Is that the streamers or the YouTubers? Is that the podcasters? Or are those millionaires who have made money from people wanting to give them money, and probably in addition to advertisement, being paid through ads for YouTube, direct sponsorships, this is Skillshare, this is Prepper Buckets, this is whatever you want to call. Oh, Raid Shadow Legends. Can't forget about that Raid Shadow Legends. Yeah, so many sponsors out there. But when it comes down to it, what are they doing? How are they making this money? How are they making their millions of dollars? Because, honestly, if you're a leftist, what you typically are going to be upset about, or what you're trying to fight against, are systems, structures that are put in place. You're trying to dismantle those systems or change or alter those systems. It's an ongoing debate as to which will work, in order so that it doesn't exploit so many people on such a grand scale, until we can finally reduce things to the point where that doesn't happen or occur at all, and change the dynamic therein. And there's so many debates about how to do that. Do we go about that by having a revolution? Do we go about that by starting on a micro level where we actually change the dynamic in the workplace, like the Richard Wolff philosophy, for example, and expand everything outwards from there? Do we have to abolish markets altogether? Will markets cease to exist or be relevant once everyone owns their own industries? Is state capitalism better? Is a planned economy better? A lot of very difficult subjects, But when it comes down to it, is that what podcasters are doing? Like, is Chapo making millions of dollars every single year because they've got like a giant factory of Chapos, the wolf pack, I think they call themselves. So is there a factory of Chapos where every day people come in and they're like, we're part of the revolution, we're doing this together, we're going to make Chapo Trap House, and then each one of them does something, they're all paid minimum wage, they're not allowed to be in the union, they have to piss and shit in diapers, and every day they're like, oh, I just hate my life being a Chapo, and then at the end of the day, that's where Chapo generates all its money or profit from? Or is it just like if you've heard early Chapo, because I used to listen to Chapo like all the time, it's very scuffed. You didn't go in there for the quality. I think they're like the originators of the leftist audio meme. It was a scuffed production by a bunch of funny people in a bedroom, probably drinking and blasting off and getting high, talking about politics and making fun of politicians, and people liked it. And then a lot of people liked it. And then people told people, and they were like, have you heard that? It's pretty funny. Then all of a sudden, Patreon. And then all of a sudden, $5 a month, $10 a month, and all of a sudden, they've got $50,000, $60,000. Now, could they use that money? Like, if you put them in your shoes, if you have all that money, shouldn't you be using it for something effectively to help push for leftism? That is for each and every individual person, I think, to pass their own form of judgment on. Because whatever answer I gave you, if I was like, yeah, I would like to see this X content creator do this X amount of things with this X amount of money, that's going to be arbitrary. That's just you wanting my personal degree of either judgment or acceptance, right? But you probably could have an even further idea than I do. You might be like, I think outside of food, every single dollar they earn should be going directly into Amazon striking right now. But they're not, and they're destroying us and destroying the left in the process, right? That could be as far as you take it. To me, I would be truly offended if someone like Noam Chomsky had made his money, or Richard Wolff had made all his money through the non-stop exploitation of other people. That's because that is what they've advocated against. If they were in some way working to empower the military-industrial complex rather than dismantle it, then yes, I would feel deeply disgusted and betrayed. But I think finding out something like Hasan Piker is rich might just be because you never actually did the math on the subs that again are in the corner of his screen. Like that's why to me it's like, oh, you found out that he's rich. Wow. Yeah. Okay. So are a lot of fucking top 10 streamers on other sites. Like they usually have some dosh, you know? Like having a tanky also be an eviction lawyer. Okay, that's hilarious. If you didn't, okay, so this is all, you know, okay, here, you know what? We can contrast the Hasan Piker thing, and I want to quickly watch one silly video on this topic with the current affairs thing. That to me is a little bit more upsetting. Right? That to me, I'm like, that surprises me, because if you are someone who's advocated consistently for democracy in the workplace, that people should have the means of their own production, they should have the ability to vote in a workplace environment in order to have more control over their daily lives, I would say, great. And then if the employees of your company were like, can we do that? And you were like, I will fire you all. Okay. Now you've acted like a monstrous hypocrite. Now I'm like, oh, wait, what the fuck? That's not how you do things. Now, you can chalk it up to this individual handled it in the worst possible way. I'm talking about Nathan J. Robinson. Sorry, I'm not trying to be vague. But if Nathan J. Robinson, it was just like, I'm not used to confrontation, social cues, whatever it is, and I handled this in the worst possible way. That's not the end of the story, because you could still at this point come forward and be like, all right, I wanted control, right? And I can understand why. You've created this thing. And this thing you feel is something that you do not want to see change into a direction you would not want it to. Again, my recommendation with that situation is he should have accepted that we could change this into an environment that is worker cooperative, but still advocate for during the transitional period. I will act as like the editor-in-chief. I will still oversee this amount, but you can vote me out in 6 months to a year if you are not, if you do not find my work adequate, if this is not good enough for you. That would have been a better way of someone to do, you know? Frames of your current affair. True. Okay, final thing. We're going to watch this quartering I don't know what you want to call it, segment on Hasan. Let's see what he has to say. Guessing it'll all be flattering.
Security.
What is that supposed to mean?
Money!
What are you?
Thanks, Scooby.
He's got a lot of money!
Now I hate you.
A few moments later.
Naomi. Nice to meet you.
Naomi, nice to meet you.
You fucking simpleton peasants, you. Oh, yeah, dude. I can't believe. Oh, man. Rich leftists, dude. What the fuck? We really gotta stop these rich leftist boys!
Song slaps, though.
The socialism grift is one of the most fascinating on the internet. Quite frankly, when you have heroes like Bernie Sanders, who is a multimillionaire, owns 3 or 4 homes, you've got people like the OK Boomer girl giving a $2 million tour of her apartment, and then you've got king of the socialists, son of Cenk Uygur.
Yes. The king of the socialists. Like, we didn't even do the pledge. This seems pretty fucked up, you know? We started the stream, we're talking about Hasan, obviously, but we didn't do the pledge. Come on, chat, you all know what to do. All at once, right? Oh, great king, protect us from on high. Hasan, son of Cenk, the one true king.
Cenk's nephew, not son.
Why did they all pronounce that? Why? It's not. It's like, it's not funny. It's weird. It's very weird. Like, it's as if I was like, Jeremy here, Jeremy Blambley of the Flartering. Jeremy. Hey everyone, it's Jeremy again. Gets better every time.
Hasan just bought a $3 million mansion in the Hollywood Hills. Now, a lot of people would like to point out the oft overused meme, but I just want to improve society, yet you take part in it meme. And sure, that does apply sometimes. However, I'm not sure that a man who just bought a $3 million home in the Hollywood Hills is just participating in society. Now, if you want to see who this person is, if you're unaware, this is Hasan Piker. I'm sorry. You may know him as the guy who said America deserved what happened to the towers. The guy that
It's not what he said. That one's like one of your easiest gotchas. You can't even get that one right. Because now someone can be like, oh, well, that was actually an improper quote. Yeah, that is slander. Hasan did not say that. He didn't even have to say the towers.
supported what happened to what is the politician with one eye? I'm trying to think what he is. Dan Crenshaw said that some brave Terry did that to him. He said a lot of heinous things, which is why I don't watch his content and I don't often mention him. But, you know, liberal media.
I don't know all of the secret words. What's Terry code word for? I know prawn is porn.
Games media, that is. Leftist games media. You can't even really call these people liberal. Have been slobbing his knob forever. I mean, the guy is undoubtedly very popular.
Thanks,
He's had
Colonel.
AOC on his channel. He's well known. Socialist Twitch streamer says he's changing minds. He actually isn't. I don't think Hasan is changing any minds whatsoever. He's not bringing in new people.
Oh, wow. You're wrong on everything here. And I'm not doing this as in like are you all ready for an Hasan fluff piece? He's changing minds. And listen to all the minds he's changed. No, I do want to say this. He started down this, like, I'm going to go into more of like a variety streamer arc. So he started doing less politics only and added a variety of fun things. Like playing games, doing React Andy, murder documentaries, Will Neff, all the flavors of the rainbow. And that combined with, being funny, talented, also collaborating with other bigger streamers, eventually led him to going from being the 6 or 7K Andy to the 30 or 40K Andy, like an absolute titan. Now, a lot of people, when they want everyone to shit on wealthier leftists or lefty advocates. So say someone wants to shit on Bernie Sanders for having 3 homes, for example. And what Bernie Sanders has done in pursuit of those 3 homes in opposition to how much wealth are you going to accumulate personally before you leave the what about a society meme and enter the realm of the, you know, you are actually using your money for the wrong things. You could be putting that to greater use. When it comes to someone, say, like Noam Chomsky, who's also very wealthy, you will not be able to have people at that elevation, or even someone like Richard Wolff. I'm assuming he's extremely wealthy. You get paid a lot of money to do like guest lectures at Harvard and Yale. Like, you get paid bank to do that kind of shit. And that's just like, that's an hour and a half outside of the travel of your day for like that one little part. But you do need people in our current framework who are famous enough to be able to advocate for the things that we want on that level, right? Because that already exists in other political spectrums. There's already a whole range of that for classical liberalism and conservatism and stuff like that. So you do need that. If one of the largest streamers on the Twitch platform is going to, you know, talk about silly stuff, dry jacking and stuff like that for a portion of their day, but then when politics come on, is going to give a lefty perspective on that to you know, the 30,000 or 40,000 people who are watching, then yes, that is most likely going to influence them to certain degrees. How much, I cannot quantify that, right? That's been a question that's been asked, and something that is a field of study for a long time. How much do people who do YouTubing, who do streaming, who do all this kind of stuff, and their audiences, how much are they directly influencing them versus are they directing them into positive directions? Are they going to then start reading on their own, stuff of that nature? Ooh, I just realized that was almost a good freeze frame.
And sharing his ideas. He's just a bro politician guy. I don't genuinely think that anyone who isn't already far left leaning would enjoy his content. I'm not sure that he's changing minds. Hasan Piker, who works for the left-wing news YouTube show, The Young Turks, I'm not sure he even
Thanks,
still does that,
Freaks34.
is a pretty popular Twitch streamer with over 90,000 followers. He's also an outspoken socialist, and his audience crosses over with the incredibly popular Chapo Trap House podcast. Last night's episode had Piker explaining the streaming platform to co-hosts Will Menaker, Amber Frost, and Matt Crispin. Chapo co-host Felix Biderman, who wasn't present for the episode, is an avid gamer and streams on Twitch himself. But Piker has said that Biderman doesn't really participate in the culture of Twitch, jokingly calling him and his friends the boomers of Twitch. Okay.
Like, I get why this meme was instantly like, let's be honest. That was low-hanging fruit. And everyone who did it knew it. All right? That was low-hanging fruit. It was like whoever found the boomer girls, she had one too, right? Didn't she have a like eat the rich tweet or something like that? And then someone found it and immediately was like, jaw. I was like, yeah, there's some low-hanging fruit there.
And as of yesterday, Twitch phenom Hasan Abi talks his way into a West Hollywood home, which features is built in 2014, 3,800 square feet, 5 bedrooms, 5 baths, indoor or in-ground pool with what looks like a, I don't know, like a hot tub area, maybe on the other side. I don't know. 6,600 square feet. Price $2.74 million. Now, I don't know if he bought this home so that he could house a bunch of Afghan refugees. I assume that's why he bought such a giant house, such a symbol of opulence, something that only the ruling class.
But you know what's funny is that wouldn't make any of them happy. It would never be enough. It would never be enough to be like, but you're not living by your values, the values that I assumed were socialists. By the way, conservatives, which is it? Is socialism people living destitute, eating rats off the street, and being just like in abject poverty? Or is it all this like powerful might of China, and the Chinese dragon is coming over to destroy us with this like weaponized virus? Oh yes, the socialism is here, communism will destroy. Like, is it all powerful, or is it nothing? Does it destroy you, or does it create you? Is it the alpha or the omega? I can't figure this out.
And socialism would have access to. I'm not exactly sure. Now, look, I am not going to shame the man for being successful. I'm merely going to point out it's hilarious that.
Yes. You must shame the man. You must shame the man. I like. Shouldn't they all be happy? Why aren't they happy? They did like, he did capitalism. Isn't that what they all? That's what they all like. He did the meritocracy. He's rich and famous. He's the liberal elites. He's gonna get to go to all the clubs now. He gets his keys to the Epstein plane. It's a whole lunchbox they give you day one, as soon as you become the petit bourgeoisie.
these people, socialist grifters like Bernie Sanders, Hasan, Nicolol, they don't actually live the system that they...
Okay, now I gotta say, if you have family that you're very, very close to, I'm sure a lot of you do. This is not in any way a flex. My Catalonian family, the members of my family who came from Catalonia, immigrated over to Chile, that's where my dad was born, they're very big on we should all just live together all the time kind of idea. So they would be totally comfortable if I ever was in a position to be like, hey, I can buy us a house that's large enough for your family to live in, my family to live in, another family to live in, can all live there together. They would not find that upsetting like some people would be, where they're like, I have to have my own property. I need to be at least like 10 cities away from my parents at all times, or I need to be at least like arm's length away from my family or my extended family. I just want to have a separation. So I think I can understand and empathize with Hasan if he's like, I want to buy a house. I want to put in my family. And I think there's like there's another family living there as well, right? And it's just going to be like we're all living together. It's very nice. Tis a very nice house. Tis a very nice house. But again, my disgust, my utter disgust, my cancellation of Mr. Piker would come if he again had a factory, if he was an employer, if he was running a team of people out of here, if this was where, Hasan Piker Industries is based out of.
Want everyone else to live in. Here's a perfect example. Nico Lull uploads. Again, this woman got famous for wearing for her OK Boomer TikTok video promoting Bernie Sanders, then bought a $50 Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez tax the rich shirt and did another TikTok in that and got,
that was the one. It wasn't eat the rich, it was tax the rich. And as soon as that came out, it was like, oh, low-hanging fruit. Yes, okay, so here's the boomer girl with the tax the rich, and here's we're just going to put this up side by side. There you go.
Viral. Again, my $2 million apartment tour. By the way, the apartment tour was hilariously memed on. So far, it got so bad that she eventually disabled the likes and dislikes and comments, even though she said that she wouldn't do that. Again, another communist, socialist grifter who is super rich. She has esports contracts.
At best, she was like a Bernie supporter. I don't even know if she was a full sock dem, but there's no hypocrisy in saying tax the rich. I'm a social democrat. That's what social democracy is. Did you get how they pay for all the programs and the strong welfare state and taking care of people and the higher education and the hospitals and all that? That comes from taxation. Yes. So the shirt it checks out. That's what a sock dem should have.
She has a $2 million apartment. Drives, I think, a brand new BMW I've seen in pictures.
Yeah, baby blogger, I agree. I think hers was a cribs, okay? I don't know, I mean, fine, whatever. If that's the kind of content, you do you, right? But I'm just like, I'm not going to watch it. That's not for me. I don't want to watch the OK Boomer girl be like, here's how rich I am now. It's wild. I'll be a lot more excited if, like, whatever hundreds of thousands of fans she has, if she can galvanize them the next time, just like someone like Bernie Sanders running. Great. Go use your social media powers for that. In the end term, what you want to do with your life is up to you. I like cribs. It's not my thing.
I am not out here saying that you cannot accumulate wealth. I think you should. I am a capitalist. But I do think it's hilarious that the Bernie grift, the Bernie socialism grift has been so profitable for people that so clearly don't live that lifestyle. They're not...
Because these words have no meaning anymore. Remember, that's why I had to go to the drawing section of this segment and draw for all y'all so you understood what I was all about here. This is to teach people things. It's also about the exploitation of labor and coming down to that. Here's the thing, everyone. If this is the first time you discovered that Hasan Piker was rich, I'm sorry to have to break that to you. I'm sorry that news comes as such a shock. And yes, there are other wealthy people who also claim to be socialists. There are other wealthy people who claim to be even communists, I dare say. It's a wild world we live in, because at the end of the day, it had nothing to do with whether or not you are actually making money within a capitalist system. It's more about your relationship to work and labor and your exploitation therein. That's what it's always been about. And yes, if you're making a lot of money, you know what I've said, this is my advocacy. Take care of yours, get your food, get your rent, take care of your kids, your friends if you can, your family if you can, animals if you can, all well and good. Then if you start growing and expanding, you need to work with other people because it's more work than you can ever handle. I would recommend the worker cooperative model. Gives everyone equal democracy in the workplace. They can pick and choose. They can help each other out. You can say at times, maybe I'm not in a spot to be able to do this. People can work together to try and make decisions as well. You can also have managers if you are not someone who likes making decisions. I think that's a better thing. And then, yes, start using, if it keeps on growing from there on and onward, start using it for trying to organize, either organize political parties or organize, direct action, strikes, help out unions. All that stuff is very, very good. And I mean, if in amongst all that, you also get yourself a PlayStation 5 made out of, Minecraft physical pieces, some kind of collector's item. And it was the one of 3, and it's fine. Don't beat yourself up forever. You had a temptation and you gave into it. That's just something that happens to everybody, It's like, am I really mad about this? Or do I think it's funnier at the Bay Area 451, who was, again, probably one of the most prominent advocates for China taking over the world, probably one of the biggest Uyghur denialists, who was still operating successfully on YouTube, to have to shut down all his social media, all his everything, really, because it turns out he was actually a lawyer, a high-powered lawyer the whole time, a foreclosure lawyer at that. So that's worse. That's much in the scale of all of these. That's probably the worst one to come out this week. I mean, I'm sorry, that one's worse than Nathan J. Robinson. Nathan J. Robinson's is, in my opinion, it's bad, but that's worse. That's worse because he used to have some videos on Mao and landlords, so it's kind of funny for him to be like, yeah, by the way, I'm sorry, I gotta go foreclose on this family of 6. Yeah, 3 months rent, am I right? Yeah, COVID. Anyways, yeah. Do you want movies and Serfs watching the movies? So then come over to the new channels. It's the Serfs Cinema. Thanks so much for watching, everybody. Can you do the thing, that thumbs up and comment and all those things that help us out in the algorithm that controls every aspect of our lives? Also, if you happen to have a Facebook account, can you delete it? Like just delete it. You should probably delete your Facebook account because it's not a great company. But hey, if you can't do that for whatever reason, I understand. And could you also go to facebook.com/thesurftimes then and give us a little like and a follow. We're just trying to push back against the fact that people like Ben Shapiro happen to dominate the platform entirely. And when everyone asks why do older generations believe the things they believe, one of the problems is the majority of them on social media use Facebook. So to counter that, we're just going to be on there too now. Also, if you happen to have a union or a worker co-op or even a leftist project, podcast, website, Zoom, MySpace, it doesn't matter. We will advertise it for free on this channel. All you got to do is go to weareserfs.com and use the forms that we got there, weareserfs.com. Thanks, everybody.
To our gods, Tigro and Payton El Jus, we pray to you, our sky daddies, to keep us safe from harm. To our monarchs, Tom Piker and the Tim Caucus, we shall humbly clean your golden toilets in your spatial palaces. To our lords, Ultra Wolf, Eva Nudie, Trevor R., Alexander Thaler, Ryan Lubin, and Jeff Lamb, we are eternally grateful for this small segment of land for us to toil and work. To our knights, Ariane McCarthy, Daniel Sutton, Ants Are Still Running the World, Coulter Smith, Val 9000, Jenna Tall, Dark Puppy, Quiet One 85, Anna Loves Riley, Omni, Riley and Anna, Poodlehawk, Multimondi, Trevor Janis, Lemmy 101, Anthropofojak, Saren 42, Chronic to Hemphog, Catherine, Bone Jenny, Radical Maniac, Ramona Costa, Jimmy Bignuts, Violent Orchard, Sophie Baby, Political Puppy, Andreas Chiringuito, Zach Christensen, Jopi, Josh Mickelson, Todd Buckingham, and Todd Lajeunesse. We raise our glasses, we raise our swords, and we salute you, our friends. And to Lance, you are the wind beneath my wings.